Hey guys, what's going on? It's RoyalTacticsFPS here. Welcome to my part 2 of my class setups on Advanced Warfare. Now, as you saw in my last video, I finished off doing my ranked classes, my CTF classes, my search and destroy classes, and my hardpoint classes as well. And you can just have a quick look at them, what I've created. Um, but you know, if you haven't watched the part 1, go and check it out before you watch this part, just so you kind of have a good idea about the ranked class setups if you are interested in that. But now we're going to move on to the what I would call the variant classes. Okay, now a lot of you guys like to use variants. Me personally, I'm not keen on using variants, just because I'm used to. It depends what guns I'm using. For example, if it's OP guns, like ASM1s or the bow, then I won't use the variants. I do have the best variant. You know, I've got the bow, and you know, I've got the Obsidian Steed, I've got the Inferno, I've got the Speakeasy, I've got the Magnitude, I've got the Reckless Rigger, and the Strider. But you know, like I said in my last video, I like to just use the normal uh, gun for ranked and search and destroy when I'm using the ASM1 and the bow. Or when I'm using the bow and the ASM1 for any game mode, not just ranked or search and destroy. I just think you don't really need the variant for their OP guns as it is already. Like, I don't understand why someone would need to use. I'll admit, like before, like ages ago. Okay, this is ages ago. Like basically when I first started YouTube, I think my first video, I think I was using the Obsidian Steed, okay? But I think like since that video, I haven't used the I haven't really used variants, just because I found out that it doesn't give you much help really. I don't think I need it. Um, I also I think I did start to not use the Obsidian Steed because I did actually have someone say to me, Obsidian noob. And I was like, what? Obsidian noob? Like, alright then. So I decided to, like, you know, I think I decided to make classes that were not variants and just see how I did in search and destroy without the variant. And I still didn't really do that bad. Like, I don't think that my game went down at all. I don't think I got less kills or anything and more deaths. I think I still played exactly the same. So that's why I say that you don't need variants. Now, in my previous video, I basically created all of my variant classes after, which you didn't see, and I'm basically going to show you all the classes now. Okay, so this is different guns and the variants I would use. What I personally think is the best variant for that gun. Okay, so we're going to get started. Now, obviously, like I've already said, the Obsidian Steed. Now, some people think that the Inferno is just as good or even better. It really depends on what you're after. It really does. But I personally think, because of the 2 up on the damage, the Obsidian Steed beats the Inferno. Now I know that it's 1 down on the accuracy, 1 down on fire rate, and 1 down on handling, but I think the Obsidian Steed is a little bit more OP than the Inferno just because of the 2 up on the damage. You know, you've got to bear in mind as well with the Inferno, it's 3 down on mobility. So I've always preferred the Obsidian Steed. Now, I'll use my normal attachments that I would normally use, which I showed you in my last video, foregrip and quick draw. Like I've already said, you could use extended mags, depending on what game mode you're in. For example, like if it's hardpoint, you could use extended mags. If it's domination, you could use extended mags. Stock, you can use that as well, but I don't think it's as useful as quick draw. Some of this stuff I've already mentioned in my last video, okay, so I'm going to try to not repeat myself. If you haven't watched that video yet, then please go and check it out. It's on my channel. It should be, I think it should be named like Advanced Warfare Class Setup, part one, or you'll be able to find it. It's like my first, the latest video that I've made, like before this one. So go and check it out, and you'll kind of have a bit more information. This one I'm just going to try and run through it. I don't want to repeat myself, as I've already said. I'm already repeating myself. So um, right, so I wouldn't recommend using any of these sites for the bow, okay? Completely pointless. Not unless you're doing camos. If you're doing camos, then it's fine. Use whatever site you actually think makes it easier for you to do what you need to do, whether it's headshots, um, strafes, dogfights, whatever it might be that makes you think it makes more accuracy, okay? What I would use if I was trying to do attachments for the ARs, and I was trying to get the camos, is I'd probably laser sight's very useful, autofocus, but it depends, and red dot sight as well. Okay, those can also grenade launcher. Okay, if you want to get those dogfights, you find it a bit difficult, or strafes, those type of camos. Grenade launcher can make it very easy for you, particularly in hardcore. Okay, obviously I've done the ARs quite a long time ago. Like that was the first camos that I got royalty for, when I first got the game. So I'm speaking from the perspective of when the game was, a lot of people were still on it. It's a little bit harder now to find hardcore lobbies, what I think. But then again, I haven't got an open nat type. I've got a moderate nat type, so that's why it might be a little bit difficult for me to find games in hardcore. But in any other game modes, and ever core, ranked, I don't really find it's not that challenging to find people. Um, we're going to move on. AK-12 RIP. Now, I used to be crazy about this gun. I used to be crazy about it. I think it's the best variant, a long way off any of these, I think. Uh, that's pretty bad, I think. That's not much of a change. One up on the handling. One up on the handling again. But it comes with a grenade. The grenade thing jiggy. So if you want to get the camos, like I said, there's certain things that you could use. But the RIP, I used to be crazy about that. But what you definitely need if you're going to use the RIP is the extended mags, okay? You definitely need the extended mags, because with the AK-12, you kind of don't feel like I'll show you now, for example. Look, you've already run out of bullets. You've already run out of bullets, so you've got to reload again. Now, if you think about it from that point of view, if you're playing something like Domination or Hardpoint, I'm talking about the game mode, so you're gonna even search and destroy. I used to use this gun a lot in search and destroy when I used to use variants, and I kept having to reload, and then when I was reloading I kept dying. So that's why I kind of decided to stop using the AK-12 RIP. It was just pissing me off, constantly reloading. But like I said, if you kind of want to avoid that issue a little bit, you can put the extended mags on it. Now, this can be good. This class setup can be good for kill confirmed, domination, because you have got a few kill streaks there, score streaks. I mean, sorry, you got a few score streaks there to get you a few extra kills. A bombing run, system hack, obviously, is all of these are easy to get in domination if you're capturing the flags and doing the objective. We've got low profile, lightweight, blind eye, blast pressure, and toughness. I haven't got the insanity, which I don't want to say one more time or I'm going to cry. But yeah, I haven't got the insanity, so I can't use that. So I think that the best variant I've got is the average Joe. Um, I just think stats. Look at these stats. Like, I just think they're all shit. Look at these stats. Terrible, terrible. I mean, even that, it's like 2 down on fire rate. I mean, it's just useless. So I decided that I like the average Joe better. It's 1 up on damage, 1 up on range, 2 down on handling. But I can take that, particularly if you've got. Um, Sometimes I like to run overcloak, which is obviously my first class, as I'll show you now. Overcloak. See, that's perfect for kill confirmed and TDM. I've got the overcloak on. You could also use this class for domination, but it's just score streaks, you know, are not very strong on this class, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Um, but it's the same kind of class setup. I've got the same perks. So obviously, if I was playing domination, I might switch up these perks to maybe something else. You know, like blind eye, for example. Blind eye is probably the most useful perk that you could use for um, domination, because a lot of people, as I have just showed you, like to maybe get out the assault drones. So yeah, I would recommend throwing on blind eye. As you can see here, I've got four score streaks on this class. I've got UAV, assault drone, remote turret, and system hack. Quite a lot of score streaks, but you've got to bear in mind that I've got the remote turret on support, I've got the UAV on support, so I'm all sorted there. I'll definitely get them. Assault drone's not too hard to get. I think that's only like 8 kills, or I think you've got to get 850 points, which isn't that much. And system hacks 800. Even with I've added the flash and the assist points onto that. So flash just kind of shocks the enemy, kind of gives you, you know, you can get a few kills with that, you know. It kind of helps your team a little bit because they're flashed and you can kind of storm in on them a little bit. Assist points, and you don't need that, but let's just say you wanted to replace it. These two are very useful, but it just really depends on if you think that it's worth it, kind of getting, you know, the cost goes up a lot. It goes up to um, 1,150, so you've really got to think about that. I personally would just throw in the assist points. You can also use extra time as well. Now, what I don't understand is why is there two extra extended times? Why? I don't understand. Like, are they different at all? Like, they both cost exactly the same. But anyway, I think that's been there since like the game came out, and they haven't changed it. I don't know. I think it must be a mistake or something. I'm not sure. Uh, if you can tell me why there is two extended times, please leave it down in the comment section and, you know, give me a little bit of knowledge for today. Um, but yeah, so I'm using those, obviously blind eye and basically all of these same kind of perks as you can see. We're gonna move on, right? The IMR ball strike. Now I was debating over whether to put the ball strike or the thunder tusk. Thunder tusk is 3 up on accuracy, which is quite good. And it's only 1 down in handling. But then when I looked at the ball strike, I thought, well, it's 1 up on the damage and 2 up on range. So even though it's going down in accuracy, the range kind of gives it a little bit of a lift. Um, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate about the fire rate as well. To be honest, both of these are kind of exactly. I think they're both decent. The reason that I picked the front of the ball strike after debating with myself is I've had a few games of the ball strike, and one game in particular, I was playing with Owen Games HD, and I think I did put the video on my channel. I think so. If you want to have a look at that, go and check it out. I think we was playing TDM on. I can't remember now. I can't remember, but I was playing with the bow at first, and I was doing terrible, and I switched it to the ball strike, and suddenly I did amazing. I suddenly went on like a 15 or a 17 kill streak, uh, and then the game ended. So I started off constantly getting killed with the bow, and then I did better with the IMR with the ball strike. So you know that it is what it is. I decided to choose this variant. I've got the same kind of. Bearing in mind this is good for kill confirmed, domination. These are decent domination classes. I've got the random stun there, just because I've basically got no more room for anything else. Basically, I've got the overcloak as well, so I can rush. Maybe I want to rush flags and quickly get the flag. Um, you know, you've got to be careful about the spawn killing, okay? If you want to quickly get out your spawn, the overcloak is probably the best thing. It gives you a speed boost. You can quickly get out of that situation. Um, we're going to move on to the next one. So we've got the MK14 Eagle Eye. Now, I was debating over, as you can see here, now, the stats are not that much different. when it comes to the Eclipse and the Eagle Eye. The difference is it's 1 up on damage for the Eclipse, 2 up on the accuracy, 1 down on fire rate, 1 down on handling. No, 2 down on handling, sorry. So the thing is even though it's 1 up on the damage and 2 up on the accuracy, there's like no negative things on the Eagle Eye, like at all. Like, so it's still up on one up on accuracy and 2 up on range, which is still decent. And I think that makes this gun much more accurate. The accuracy's increased, the range is increased, so I decided to pick that gun. I've got quick draw on that as well, it comes with the gun. I haven't unlocked any attachments other than the grenade launcher, which shows you how bad I think this gun is. I hate this gun, even though, yeah, okay, the stats are not too bad, but I just hate this gun. I just don't like using it. I hated doing the camos for it, but somehow I did it. Um, I just don't like it. As you can see, attachments, all of my, my stuff is still the same. 360 turret head, so it turns around 360. You get more enemies that way. Sentry, so it works on its own, okay? You don't have to man the sentry, it does it for you. And support, so obviously it carries over even if you die. And I've got blind eye, peripherals, blast presser, toughness, overcloak, and lightweight, so I can move a bit quicker. That's about it for that one. Right, KF5, breakneck. Now, some people think the spanner is good as well. It is. I mean, it's the 3 up on accuracy. If you're doing the camos, like I said, you might want to use a spanner instead of the breakneck because it is 1 down on the accuracy. You got to bear that in mind. But the fire rate's 3 up, so I think that helps a little bit. As you can see here, I've kind of got attachments. I've got less streaks. I've got low streaks here, so this is good for TDM kill confirmed, I would say. And obviously make sure you've got. Just remember, always put our control on the assault drone, so you're not sitting there waiting to get killed while you're manning your assault drone. Particularly if you're on like if you're trying to go for a DNA bomb, for example, you do not want to just be sitting there not being able to kill somebody because you're sitting there controlling your assault drone, because you just ruined your streak that you was on. So I'd recommend doing the L control. Yeah, this is just a perfect TDM kill confirm class. Not as not so great for domination. If you wanted to do domination, what you could do is take that away, and then you could add on another. You could even take away that as well. Put on system hack. Anything you'd really like. Paladin's good, but you've got to bear in mind it does cost a lot to be able to afford it. The best things for the Paladin, I personally think, add an extra flare to ward off more enemy thing. Well, that's obviously, it does cost a lot. Look, if you put that on, it does cost quite a lot. You haven't got support for that. So depending on what kind of player you are, if you find it hard to kind of go on streaks, I wouldn't recommend using the Paladin. I would just recommend using this. This is what I would recommend. That's perfect. And obviously, if you don't want that, take away that, and you still have room for another attachment. If you're trying to do camos, the best attachments I think for trying to do camos is red dot sight, autofocus sight, and laser sight. Obviously, it all says there, increased hip fire accuracy. Sight automatically zooms when aiming down, the sights are not moving, and red dot sight, so it helps your aim a little bit. Advanced rifling as well, because I mean it's got a good range. I just don't really think, like, if you look at the gun, I don't think it's very accurate. Like, I don't think it's as accurate as, I mean, it's not too bad. Like, it's not too bad with all the, like a SMG. It's not that bad. We're gonna move on. SN6, the third. I don't mind the SN6, but the thing is, a lot of people don't really use it. I don't think I don't bump into a lot of players that use this gun. Um, Probably because the damage isn't very good, as you can see. Like that one there is 2 down on damage, and it so it only is four damage, which is quite bad. Yeah, none of these have got very good damage. So the third is 1 up on damage and 2 up on range. So yeah, definitely. I don't think there's any other gun that really is in contest, like is in competition with the third for the SN6. Um, you could use that, but you know the handling mobility is pretty shit, so I'd still stick with the third. Um, Now this is great if you're playing something like Kill Confirmed, and you want to do camos at the same time, but you're still trying to do the objective. Obviously, I always say to people, try and still do the objective. If you don't want to do the objective, play till TDM. If you're not going to be useful for your team at all, then play free for all, or you know maybe a fun game mode like gun game or something like that. But yeah, full grip helps with accuracy, quick draw, so you can aim quicker, lift your gun up quicker, and red dot sight. So this is kind of good for if you're trying to do camos, bit more accuracy. Um, I've got lightweight on, blind eye, blast pressure and toughness. So yeah, this is a domination class as well because blind eye, you know, you are undetectable by tracking drones, explosive drones, and all score streaks except the UAV. So that includes anything. That includes but bombing runs. But you probably you'll still get killed by the bombing run. Okay, I think it's mainly aimed at the warbirds and paladins, and maybe missile strikes. But like I said, the score streaks that I've mainly showed you, bombing run and warbird, remote turret, assault drone, maybe sometimes a care package as well, but sometimes that slows you down, so I don't really use that much anymore. UAV, system hack, those are the score streaks I normally use. Now, if you don't like those score streaks, then you know, I mean, Paladin, if you can get the kills, then yeah, you could use that. Goliath can be useful sometimes, but then again, I mean, all this is just my luck. As soon as I get into a Goliath, it's like instantly just the Goliath just gets killed, you know, and I haven't like only got 1 kill with it or something. So it's a bit pointless. A missile strike, terrible. The aim on the missile strike is just absolutely terrible. I think, I don't know if that's supposed to fix that or they did fix it, but they didn't fix it very well. I can assure you. I don't even see the point in using that because I'll just miss and just, I don't know, I'll be aiming at someone and then it will just aim for me and then go into a building or something. Um, so yeah, I don't ever use missile strike. So yeah, that's a perfect setup for SN6 if you want to play kill confirmed. TDM, it's still fine for TDM as well, but the blind eye is pretty useless. If you're gonna do TDM, cold blooded, it's probably much better, and peripherals, maybe even low profile as well. Um, but think of this as a kill confirmed slash domination class. Um, Now we're gonna do ASM1 Speakeasy. Okay, so we've done the Bell class. We did that at the beginning. So now we're going to do the ASM1. Now I've got the Speakeasy. Some people do use a Strider, but I just think it's terrible. I mean, look at the accuracy. Look at the accuracy on that.